Good morning. Welcome to Diane's Kitchen. No, it's not a cooking show, but it's a place where we can sit down and talk to some interesting people that do interesting things. There is a group that I have honestly never understood. They are the NWRPC. And today we have the Executive Director, Sheldon Johnson. Welcome.
Hey, welcome. Thank you.
What do all these initials mean?
Sure. So NWRPC is Northwest Regional Planning Commission. We're a 10-county economic development and planning group.
10 county, is
10
that
county.
efficient?
It's very efficient. So we look at everything on a regional scale as it relates to the things that we do and the partners that we work with. So our board of directors, we're covering 10 counties. Our board of directors are the county board chairs of every single county.
Oh, clever. So do you start way up at Douglas County and work
We
down,
do.
or do you work
Yeah,
sideways?
both ways. So we cover the 4 coastal counties: Ashland, Douglas, Ashland, Bayfield, Iron. We roll down to Price County, Taylor County, Rusk, Sawyer, Washburn,
Wow.
and Burnett. So we cover about 20% of the state geography as it relates to region.
How long have you been in business?
We've been in business just about 61 years. Be 61 years next
61
year.
years. When you first started, or when this was first started,
Yep.
was it 10 counties, or did it grow to 10 counties?
It was started with 4. Some of the 4 coastal counties started the initiative back in 1959, and by 1966 it was all 10 counties, and it's been all 10 counties ever since.
That's a large area.
It is quite a bit, but the population is really small. It's only about 172,000 people.
Well, yeah, sometimes you feel like you're living in Wyoming, you know?
Yeah, but
Just-
a great place to live.
Yeah,
you know?
no kidding.
Yes,
Definitely.
very nice.
How did you get your job? How did you come on board?
I came on board back in 1994. I've been here about 25 years. My
Wow.
wife and I moved from South Dakota. We're originally from Minnesota, and we were looking for a job to get closer to home.
So you like snow and cold?
Yes, exactly right.
Okay, then. Your position. What do you do as the executive director?
So as the executive director, I get to manage some wonderful staff that we have in our office that do great things across the region. I also work on many different projects and manage some other individual projects, such as the recycling program that we'll
Okay.
speak on a little bit later. But we have a staff of 14 total that work in housing administration, economic development, community planning and development, grant writing, all kinds of fun stuff that are really community-based at the city, town, village, county level.
Okay, what do you mean? Take a town,
Sure.
take a county, and what do you offer the people in a county, a town?
Sure. So let's take Washburn County, where we're sitting
Okay.
today. All right. So as it relates to Washburn County, and I'm going to just kind of go down the list. So
Okay.
in our housing program, we administer programs that provide down payment assistance and housing rehabilitation to qualifying households. They have to meet certain low to moderate income standards to receive funds.
Okay.
There's 0% interest deferred payment loans for individuals to repair their home. Basically deferred maintenance, not a remodeling program.
Okay.
But
So
it's
we're talking about lower income, help for lower income.
correct.
Is that kind of across the board for everything that you do?
No, not
Okay.
at all. That's
All
just
right.
one specific program.
So
for that.
housing is
Housing is one of them. The other thing that we do is our environmental services program. In that respect, we manage the recycling facilities for Douglas County, Washburn, and Burnett. And then we also provide a household hazardous waste collection program. So we take all of your household chemicals that are under your sink or in your garage that you should not throw away. We'll take those under a program that we operate.
But only 3 out of the 10 counties.
No, we'll do that. Actually, the household hazardous
Oh.
waste program, we do
Okay.
across all 10 counties.
Okay, you just mentioned something that was 3 counties.
Correct. That's the recycling program. The recycling program is...
How
I
do you
know,
keep
we
it
have a
all
lot.
straight?
So the recycling program we administer for 3 counties under contract, but every other county still has a recycling program. We just do 3 of our 10 counties.
When did recycling become so important? I mean, years ago, you threw everything away. Absolutely everything away. You didn't give it a second thought.
Right.
And then a lot of times out here in the country, the biggest thing that you could do is to take your date and go to the dump and watch the bears.
Watch the bears. Exactly right. I remember doing that several times growing
know.
up as a kid.
Yeah,
Right?
paw through the garbage, and oh, here comes another one, and
Right,
oh, it
right,
came
right,
right
right.
by the car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
simple days.
right. If you go back to the 70s, there was a really strong emphasis on the environment and changing the attitude and perceptions of what we do with our waste. As that grew in the latter part of the 70s and the 80s, here in Wisconsin, Wisconsin created a law in 1990 that banned many of the many of the recycling items that we have that we use on a daily basis from going into a landfill.
Okay, 1990.
1990.
How did you make the public aware that don't put that in your garbage?
Well, a lot of it's been through community outreach, public information.
Okay.
As social media now has become more prevalent, obviously, using Facebook, using other social media avenues to try to engage people with what you can and cannot recycle.
Would you say the average response is, who cares? Or would you say that the average response is, it wouldn't hurt?
I think attitudes have changed and they continue to change.
Well, look at Whole Foods.
Right.
I mean, years ago, that wouldn't have made any difference. And now everybody wants to eat clean and differently. Yeah, we have entered kind of a new era of let's clean up the mess we've made. And what a mess we've made.
And I think the opportunity and the availability of recycling has really changed that.
Exactly.
Most of the garbage haulers provide and will provide an opportunity for you to recycle in a cart.
Oh, right.
Shell Lake, Spooner, many of the other communities across Washburn County and the region have that service, every other week or once a month. We also provide that service at many of our locations in our region.
I liked it better. Instead of the big green container, there was a red, smaller.
Yep, just a little tote.
I really liked that because it gave you a sense of pride to go through your neighborhood and see all the people. Oh, good, they recycle and they recycle and they recycle. To recycle, how do people know where to take it? What needs to be recycled? I mean, do batteries really do horrible things at the landfill site? Or how do we know?
So the Department of Natural Resources
for
the state of Wisconsin
DNR
administers the statewide recycling program. So they are responsible for all of us knowing what recycling is and what we can and cannot recycle.
Okay.
So they provide a grant to all responsible units across the state of Wisconsin. Basically, every unit of government is a responsible unit. Here in Washburn County and in Burnett County, the county themselves is a responsible unit. So back in 1994, those counties said, why don't we as a county be that responsible unit so every single town, city, and village doesn't have to be their own? And they took on the responsibility of recycling for the area. So Washburn County is that group. And then they created the Recycling Control Commission. The Recycling Control Commission is a 10-member board, 5 members from each county, that meet quarterly to talk about recycling issues, to talk about what's happening in their counties and how we can recycle more. So that's one of their missions and one of the things that they do. So what we then do is we take information and we provide that to them. We provide it to the public. And then we have recycling facilities in 12 different locations throughout the 2 counties. So that
2 counties, 12 locations.
12 locations.
Yep. Nobody has an excuse.
No, they have opportunities to recycle all across each county.
Okay.
Including, like myself, I contract with my garbage provider to take my recycling every month.
Exactly. When you take a trip, I don't know about other states, but Wisconsin is marvelous for the waysides. And you get out of your car and you're going to throw something away. And there's like 9 different bins.
Yep.
This is aluminum. This is plastic. This is paper. This is. So you have to stand there and study for a while before you know where to put everything. And even Culver's, I think, are one of the few restaurants that have 2 separate bins. Oh, no. Economart also has recycle this, recycle that, or this is just garbage.
Right.
Where in Washburn County are these recycle centers? Do you know offhand?
Sure. I know where all of them are.
Okay.
So in Washburn County, we have a facility here in Spooner, and it's located behind our office down at 1400 South River Street.
And it's hard to find if you're the first time there. It's like,
right.
I have no idea.
Correct.
And you realize, oh, it's here.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of it.
And that's available to all residents, whether they're from Washburn County or Burnett County, to bring their recyclables. We also have facilities in Stone Lake, Minong, Springbrook, Long Lake during the summertime, and then at Serona at the BFI or the Republic Services landfill entrance. There's a recycling container there as well.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yep.
That's right on the highway.
So all of those facilities are open to residents
Okay.
to drop their recycling off when they're open for free.
So if a vehicle pulls up and it says Minnesota, summer resident in their cabin
Yep.
up here,
Yep.
and they're unloading a lot of stuff, and there's an attendee, are they asked to put it back in their car and take
Nope.
it back to Minnesota?
Because they own property
Oh, sure.
in the county,
They're
then
resident.
they're eligible to drop that off. Yep. So they can recycle that.
Are these recycle centers manned mostly?
Mostly, the Spooner one is not. The Spooner one's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week,
It is.
365. So it's always open and available to the public. And back in 2018, there's the Chinese National Sword initiative that happened. So recycling has been going on for many, many years. And the U.S. and other countries had been sending most of their recycling to overseas, to China.
Yeah, right, to China.
In 2018, the National Sword Initiative really crunched down and reduced the amount of recycling that we could send there. They basically said, all right, United States, clean up your recycling act or we're not going to take any of it. So we were sending them a lot of dirty plastics, a lot of dirty items that we were throwing in the recycling container saying, well, it looks clean.
Sure.
I don't know for sure if I should recycle or not, but I'm going to throw it in there.
Sure.
So in 2018, that initiative that they instituted affected the entire country, the entire world.
Yes, it did.
So for us, we ask our residents to rinse out all of their items, make sure they're dry, and then place them in the recycling containers. So when you, Diane, were mentioning, you go to the wayside in Wisconsin, there's all these separate containers. Those separate containers vary by community. Some of them still sort. We do not.
Okay.
So we have big blue containers where you can throw your recycling into the container in a mixed process. So your plastics 1, 2, and 5, your aluminum cans, your tin cans, your glass, your paper, your cardboard, all of those things can be put in those containers, commingled, we call it. So one of the things that happened a couple of years ago as well is that we stopped collecting plastic film. So plastic film is your grocery bag, right? Your plastic grocery bag. The plastic wrap that you might buy a case of water.
Oh, sure.
Heavier plastic that's wrapped around it.
The flat plastics.
Yep, the flat plastics. All of those plastics are no longer recyclable.
Why?
There's not a market for them. They're not, you can't take them and generally use them in a market product. Right.
So does China have certain recyclables that they want or can use better?
Cardboard, plastics 1 and 2. And then the metal as well, the metal and glass. So they take primarily the plastics and metals for the most part.
What would they do with cardboard?
Cardboard is a very recyclable, can be used multiple times in the recycling process. So they'll take that, they'll mix it with raw product, and then they'll create more cardboard essentially. So it's just reusing that product.
Sure.
Like the plastic soda bottles, water bottles. Many of those items are made into other products.
Yes.
Things that we wear, things that we walk on.
I have a fur coat that I got at Burlington a couple of years ago. And to look at it, to touch it, you would swear it was real fur. And some people give me a real dirty look. And I feel like I've always got to open it up, show them this little tag inside that this is 100% recyclable materials. But you would swear it was fur.
Yeah.
Is it China that does that?
Not necessarily them themselves. No, they are a large manufacturer of items that we wear. But there's many other producers here in the States and in other countries that take those materials and reproduce them into some other things that we wear or other items we use in our car or in our housing materials.
I think it's just genius that somebody said, let's work on this. Let's figure out what we can do with this.
Right.
There is a place down in Rice Lake that is just amazing. Older couple started at St. Vincent's. And when I interviewed her years ago, she said that they take the buttons, they take clothes that aren't sellable. They go upstairs and they've got a thing that takes the buttons off.
Sure.
And if it's cotton, it goes in one pile. If it is any sort of a knit or plastic product, it goes in the other one. And the cotton becomes rags
Mhm.
and the plastic becomes insulation for
Yep.
cars
Yeah.
and things. I thought,
Yep.
how genius. And
Yeah.
they sell buttons and they sell that just appeals to something in me that good. It was thrown away, but oh look, it's back.
Right. And if you can reuse, that recycling is, recycle, reuse.
Yeah.
And many people are moving from the plastic bags that you get at the grocery store to
Yes.
bringing their own bag that's
Mhm.
reusable in, so that you're not with completely throwing everything away again. And so
Mhm.
I think many people, including myself, are really trying to figure out how can you minimize the things that you throw away,
Mhm.
and how can you recycle the things that are valuable.
And two words are very important to me, but they don't seem to be important to anybody else. It's personal responsibility.
Yep.
Sure, it's your little soda bottles, your little water bottles. It's not much.
Right.
But if everybody did it, what a difference it would
Yeah.
be.
Correct. I agree completely. So then you've got your household hazard. You have your household recycling,
Okay.
right? So those are the pop bottles, the water bottles, your milk jugs, all the paper, newspapers that you get, the cardboard. So if you buy a box of cereal,
Mhm.
that box that the cereal came in
Mhm.
is recyclable. Just got to flatten it out.
Hmm.
So those are some of the household things that we do. But we also collect recyclables on the electronic side. So
Yes, anything with a plug, you said.
everything with a plug is recyclable. So we can take televisions, VCRs, DVD players,
Wow.
stereos, typewriters, desktop printers. Those kind of things are recyclable. Um, what's different with those electronics to be recycled is we have to charge people who bring those to our shop to dispose of them. We
Okay, what do you charge? And if there is nobody in attendance, who do you pay? It's an honor system?
Well, we don't want people to drop it off during the daytime without coming up to talk to one of our front office staff. So if somebody was to come up during the day, 8 to 4:30, we've got staff that can assist them. They just have to come to our front office
Okay.
and ask for help. On Saturdays, we're open from 10 to 2.
And someone is there.
Yes. Yep.
Explain again, because it took me a long time to find you. What are you near? I mean, a
So,
lot of people don't even know where your office is, and it
right,
sits right out there,
right. So we're on the south end of Spooner on Highway 63.
right?
We are Northwest Regional Planning Commission,
Mm-hmm.
and when people ask where we are, we usually say we're right across the street from WK Appliance.
Oh,
So
sure.
we're just on the east side of the highway.
Okay.
But we've got 3 large flagpoles, and our recycling facility is right in the back. But we're at 1400 South River Street is our address.
Okay. How long have you been there?
So we've been in that location since 1995.
Okay. So the gates are always open?
At the Spooner location, they're always open. We ask people to be responsible for when they bring their recyclable items in there, that they only recycle the things that they can. Lots of people think, well, construction debris is recyclable. It is not.
Oh,
So what will
any of
happen?
it?
None of it at our location.
Okay.
So any construction debris, pails, 5-gallon pails, those things are not recyclable.
Mm-hmm.
Things that are recyclable are the things that you would use in your household that are plastic, metal, glass, paper, cardboard.
Sure.
So those are the things that we look for.
Cans.
Cans,
How about these aluminum pie plates or TV dinner plates?
if they're clean.
Okay.
So anything that has food residuals on it is garbage.
Okay.
So if you cannot wash it and put it in your recycling when it's clean,
Mm-hmm.
then we would not take it. We only could take it clean. So like pizza boxes, lots and lots of questions about pizza boxes. We cannot take pizza boxes.
I can see why it's hard to scrape that.
Right. The grease
old
and all the stuff
cheese
that's on
off.
it. Yep. So those are just garbage, unfortunately. So we're looking for clean and dried recyclable items.
Yeah,
that
you
we
get
would
something
have.
from Amazon, you open the box,
Right.
you can recycle it.
Right. So what happens? What happened in 2018 when China instituted their National Sword Program is that it cut back on the amount of contaminants that they'll accept, which basically was passed on to us. So if residents go back there and they put items in the recycling container that are dirty,
Mm-hmm.
and our contracted firm that we have to take our recyclables notice that there's all kinds of junk things that don't belong in there,
Yeah.
we get charged $86 for that container, and it goes to the landfill. So there may only be a very, very small quantity of things in there that are garbage, but the entire container gets taken away to the landfill.
Do you ever get a clean container?
Oh yeah,
Really?
we more often, our citizens are really good at knowing what to throw in there and what not to throw in there.
That's
There are a
good.
few bad apples that will just say, you know what, hey, I'm going to save myself
Yeah,
50
whatever.
bucks or
Yeah.
whatever. Well, it costs us, and it costs our program the ability we have to pay for that. Someone has to.
Hmm.
So basically, we're paying for that, and it's 86 bucks a pop.
That's sad.
It is.
I mean, they got to throw the whole thing away because somebody just tossed it in.
Yep.
Do you have signage at the Spooner recycle place so when people come and when they finally find it, oh, here it is.
Yes.
Do you have signage so they know where things go, or do you just drop it off at the door and let the people eventually take it where it's supposed to be?
Yep. So we have two answers for that. So on all of our recycling containers, we have signs that say what you can and what you cannot recycle. So we never take garbage. I mean, that's the big sign we have right now.
Good.
And we never take plastics. There's other locations you can take that. So those are
The higher number plastics.
Right, the
or
film,
the film
plastic, or the
Or-
higher numbers.
Okay.
Yep. So we do have that information posted on our boards.
Mhm.
We also have on our website at Northwest Regional Planning Commission's website, www.nwrpc.com, and you go to our services tab for recycling. We have information there
Okay.
that will tell people what they can and cannot recycle.
You know, you don't need the www anymore.
I did not know that.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. No, I found that out a couple of years ago, and it's like, really? Yeah, nobody uses
It all works
it.
now.
And yet, everybody uses it.
I'm old school still, so I still do that every
Yeah,
time.
well, stop it.
www. All right.
So when I pull in, I've got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
It's open. There are signs. There is information. You do not take garbage.
We do not take any kind of garbage.
And even the recycled material needs to be clean. Now, does this mean rinsing out your pop cans?
Yes. Yep. So we don't want that
Rats.
residual. Right. Yeah. We don't want rats anywhere, right? But
Well,
it needs to be clean, and that
Okay.
means rinsing out everything, making sure they're clean. Like today, I was cleaning out a cheese jar. You know, when you have it in your fridge for a week or two, it kind of gets a little crust on it.
a week or two, or maybe a couple
Or
of
maybe
months.
a little longer. But we want that clean too as well. You know,
Okay.
we really are looking for 100% clean and dry.
Okay, you've got a cheese jar.
Yes.
The jar is a jar.
Yep.
The lid is metal.
Yep.
It's all clean.
Yep.
I don't have to take the labels off.
Correct.
Can I recycle both of them?
Yep. Put the lid on it and just throw it in.
Oh, put the lid on it. You don't
Sure.
have to find another place to put the metal.
No, or you can just throw the lid in there too as well.
Oh,
Or you
okay.
can commingle it, throw it all in there. So when you go to our shops or in Spooner and all the other facilities, you're just going to see a line of recycling containers, and again, it's commingled. So you can put everything that you have in your bag or in your box, dump it into the container.
All right.
If you brought it your recyclables there
Mhm.
in a plastic bag, take the plastic bag home with you and
Oh,
reuse
right,
it.
right.
For the next time. We don't take that film plastic. If you, I know Economart in town takes plastic grocery bags. They'll take that.
Oh, right
Yep.
in the lobby there.
Yep.
There's a
There's a few search for recycling plastics. There's some really good websites that will identify who else takes plastic film around the region as well.
And you know what it's going to take? It amazes me. Some of these crafts that people come up with. I mean, they use egg cartons and old clear cups glued onto something, and they really turn out nice.
Yeah.
You got to know that if you challenge some of these old ladies to do something clever with this, you know, they'll bake it, they'll freeze it, they'll find something clever to do with
That's right.
this.
Yeah.
It's something you might want to tap
Yeah.
into.
Yep. Yep.
So, you feel successful?
We do. Yeah, we see our volumes continuing to go up over time. While we used to be able to take 1 through 7 in plastics, we're
Yeah.
now limited to just 1, 2, and 5. And we believe that 5s are going to be going away. So we're really just promoting 1 and 2s.
Okay.
While technically we can still accept number 5
Yeah.
recyclable plastics,
But
we believe it's probably
short
going to be
shelf
going
life.
away. We believe so, yes.
So now you've got these containers, and they're good.
Mhm.
They're not contaminated. They're not $86 worth of junk.
Right.
Where do they go?
So our firm that we have, Republic Services, they come in and collect those twice a week. They take them to Sorona, and they have a very large building on their site where they take their recycling trucks, they drop it on the floor there, and then later in the process they pack it into semis and they haul it over to the Twin Cities, and then that's where they separate all of the recyclable materials into their type of recyclable, paper or plastic or aluminum or glass. So it might look like a garbage truck is taking the recycling, but it's actually a recycling truck. But that looks like a garbage truck. So it all goes to MRF. It's a recycling facility where they separate all of the recyclables out in the Twin Cities. And then it gets sold from them to processing companies that take that product and make it into more glass or new glass or paper or cardboard or whatever they might be using it for.
I think that is just marvelous. It goes along with kind of like my philosophy of life. Don't go through life just throwing stuff away.
Right.
Value it.
Yep.
Make it usable.
Yeah, that's right. If there's any takeaway from the folks that are watching this episode that want to know more about
Yes.
recycling, definitely do some research to see what you can and cannot recycle.
Google?
You could Google it.
Okay.
You can go to the Northwest Regional Planning Commission's website to look for that information. You can go to the Department of Natural Resources here in Wisconsin. They've got great resources there for recycling and how you can use it, how you recycle that materials. Just remember that it needs to be clean, it needs to be dry, and it has to be in that really that household framework of recyclables. So plastics 1 and 2 and 5, aluminum, glass, tin, cardboard, paper box, and all of that stuff has to be broken down or crushed. We would prefer. So if, like, for example, Diane, you got a 1 gallon milk carton.
You could stand on it.
It's you could it's big, right? If you
I always
run
do.
hot
It's
water
fun.
in that,
Yeah.
and then rinse it out and then collapse it, it's going to be half the size. So that means when you bring your container to our facility to recycle, there's a lot more room in there for people to
Exactly.
put more stuff in there.
It's
So
just fun to step on.
it is.
Just
They
stop
are
the life out
strong.
of it.
They are strong.
You're not kidding. There's
Yeah.
nothing stronger than. So that falls into the okay category.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, you can crush things down, and we prefer people to do that, like
Oh,
boxes. It's the holiday season.
Exactly.
Lots of people are going to be recycling cardboard boxes.
Yes.
And if you put a dozen or more cardboard boxes in our containers, it's going to take up a lot of space.
Yeah, it is.
And
Empty
there's a lot of
space.
airspace, right?
Yeah.
Empty space. So breaking those things down are really important.
So when you go behind businesses and grocery stores and they've got the cardboard all bundled together in bales, is that some of the stuff that goes through you eventually, or do they have their own service?
They have their own service. So they've got their own compactor for their cardboard, and
Yeah.
they're selling their cardboard to another distributor, or someone's taking it for them. So it doesn't come through us at all. Again, we're just dealing with the residential side. We're not responsible for taking business waste recycling. So businesses are supposed to be finding their own
Yes.
vendor for their recyclables that they generate. Yeah. So we're just residential based.
And it's just so nice that business and residents and everybody is getting on the bandwagon.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
Now, when you said your website is NWRPC, did you have a dot after N?
Yeah, .com.
Okay, .com.
Yep.
But it's just NWRPC.
.com, yeah.
.com. On your business card, it's all in capital letters. Is it, what do they call it? Is it sensitive
No.
to? Okay.
No.
I think they shouldn't make everybody look like they're in second grade, lowercase, and drives me nuts. NW, Northwest Regional RPC Planning Commission.com.
.com.
And they can go on there for all sorts of information.
Yeah, they can see what we do for recycling, and they can see all the other services that we provide through planning and economic development and loans to businesses and all the other things that we do as well.
And that is fully alive in Washburn County.
Oh, fully alive in Washburn County, and has been for the last 60 years.
That's just amazing. I mean, how much you've done for how long, and so many people still haven't got a clue who you are or what's going on.
Yeah, and I think in part, Diane, that is because most of our effort and focus is working with communities. So we're working with county boards, city
Sure,
councils,
sure.
village boards.
So it's their job to pass on the information.
In part, yeah, our partners.
Mhm.
We look for our partners to help pass our information on and provide that to their residents
Mhm.
in their community. It's our responsibility too to educate and try to inform our population
Sure.
in our region. So we
Right.
try to do the best we can.
Good.
We can't reach everybody all the time.
Mhm.
People come into the community, move here,
Oh, yeah.
and others move away. So
Yeah.
it's a continual process to try
And
to
even
educate
people
and
that have
provide that.
lived here for their whole life, they still don't know about this.
Right.
You have any thing you want to show us?
Yeah, I do actually.
Oh, good. Show and tell.
Brought a few things that I wanted to just show you and show folks.
Okay.
So here's a good example
Yes.
of
Clean.
clean. It's clean, and that's what it looks like after it's been cleaned and crushed. So you can see the difference in size
Oh, yeah.
on how that is. Just a regular old milk jug from the local store here. Here's another example that we will not accept. These are plastic airbags. So a lot of the shipping things that we're
right.
getting today. Now this one's deflated.
Yeah.
But if you have these in your packaging, in your products you're getting in your Amazon or FedEx packages, these are not recyclable. These are
Okay.
just garbage. So you deflate them and you can throw them in the garbage. Or you might be able to go on recyclingsimplified.org. You can put your email at your zip code in there, and you can find people who will take things like this. So it's
See, it's those old ladies at the nursing home. They can find a
Right.
use for that. They'll
Right.
show up as Christmas ornaments
and
next
another
year.
one. So you get these
yeah.
smiley packages.
Yes.
It looks like paper, which it is, but the inside is this bubble,
Yeah.
and that is not recyclable.
So bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap is garbage.
Ooh.
Yep. So any kind of
Flat
product
plastic.
flat plastic, if you get that envelope, a paper envelope is recyclable, but an envelope such as that's got the bubble in it,
Yeah.
that is garbage.
How about catalogs?
Catalogs are recyclable.
Oh,
Yep.
I had heard that they weren't.
No,
and
they are.
I thought, you don't get many catalogs anymore. This time of year, 10 years ago, you would have a stack, 15, 20 of
Right.
The sausage and cheese and the,
Yeah. Right.
things for Christmas.
Yeah, so catalogs, magazines, all of those things are recyclable, yes.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yep. So all of that can be recycled in our facility, in our bins.
Is your facility big enough here in Spooner? Or if people really get serious and start to actually take this seriously, is there room?
Oh, yes. Yeah, for sure. We currently have 5 containers for residents to put their
Okay.
materials in, and they're usually full by the time that they get emptied by our recycling hauler. So
Wow,
if we
that's
had
good.
if we had another 300 people start to recycle at our facilities,
They just
we
come more
have
often.
the availability to add another container.
Okay.
So we'll go from the 5 that we have to 6.
So how does somebody in a town find out where their recycling center is? Do they go to?
They can go to our website
Okay.
and they can look for it there. They could go on to to Facebook and go to our Recycling Control Commission
Okay.
Facebook page. They can go to the Department of Natural Resources website. There's a list
Right.
of all the responsible units, and it'll identify where they can take their recycled items as well.
And what is recyclable?
And what is recyclable? Because there's lots of things that are not.
Yeah, no kidding. Things that, if they take this piece of plastic, why don't they take that piece of
Right,
plastic?
right.
But it
Yep.
doesn't work that
Yep.
way. Is there anything else you wanted to add before I have to let you go?
I would just say that if you're looking at your recycling process, and I'm just going to talk recycling to conclude,
Yes.
but it's looking at plastic film is no longer recyclable. It used to be recyclable, and that's the hardest thing, is to change people's
Oh, yeah.
way of doing things that they used to do. I used to do it this way. Why can't I do it now?
Yeah.
It's just the market. It's the way that it is. So we're trying to continue to educate them. So the plastic film,
No
is
flat plastic.
no flat plastic, no plastic bags, dog bags. Like a lot of people are using wood chips to heat their home.
Oh, right.
Those plastic bags that you bring your wood chips
Yeah.
home in, those plastic bags are not recyclable.
Okay.
Those are just
And
garbage.
garbage bags and
And
any
garbage
flat
bags.
plastic,
Yep.
even if it has little bubbles in it.
Right, right.
It's still
So plastics, water bottles, plastic
Mhm.
tubs, plastic things that you would use in your house for
Mhm.
household things.
Sure.
A lot of people throw away used oil containers.
Oh, yeah.
They are not recyclable because they're contaminated with the oil
I was gonna
residue.
say, it would take
Yep,
a lot of work just to get them clean.
yep. So just
So they're
thinking
garbage.
about clean, dry paper, cardboard, magazines, tin, aluminum, glass. Those are the primary things that we recycle.
So how much does it cost on average to recycle something with a plug? Is it a various thing? The bigger it is, the more it costs?
It is that case for televisions.
Okay.
They run 25, 35, 45 and up based on size for televisions.
Okay.
Primarily everything else that we take is either $5 or $8 with a plug. So your VCR, your desktop printer, those are usually $5. The old monitors for computers,
Oh, yeah.
not the flat screen monitors, but
Right.
the other monitors, those are $8 currently. So there's a fee for those materials, and it's because we can't get rid of those for free. We have to pay.
Oh,
To get rid of them. So all we're trying to do is just get cost recovery
sure.
for the things that we're taking there that we have to charge for. Recycling's free on
Mhm.
the household stuff. That is free because there's a grant for that the county
Nice.
receives. But the electronics we do have to pay. And those are the things that we don't want people to drop off in the dark of the night, right?
Exactly.
Because it's going to
And
impact
that's what I was just
somebody
gonna
else.
ask you. So if you go to one of the centers that don't have an attendee, is there a list, and do you put your money in a can somewhere, or how
Well,
do you do
all
that?
the attendants, the other sites that take those materials have attendants, and they have a fee structure, and they'll work with them when they come through their
Mhm.
process. For us, if our residents here in Washburn County come to our facility in Spooner
Mhm.
on Saturdays from 10 to 2, we have a couple of staff that work there, and they'll work with our public that come in and want to recycle their electronics.
So if you've got something with a plug, go in Saturdays.
Those are the best days to come in, Saturdays from 10 to 2 in the winter,
Mhm.
9 to 1 during the summertime. If people wanted to come in during the weekday, they can. They just have to come up front and ask for one of our staff to help them. Yeah. So, and those prices vary. But we also take white goods.
Oh,
So
really?
stoves, washing
No
machines,
kidding. Refrigerators?
freezers, and we currently take those for free. And
Oh,
we take them at our
wow.
facility down south end of Spooner as well. So those are things that we can take.
That is good to know.
Yes.
Because, I mean, you see every once in a while somebody that puts a washing machine out for the garbage, and you're thinking,
Yeah.
that's going to be there a long time.
Yes,
You
it
might as well
is.
use it as a planter because it's going to be there.
That's right. Yeah. So we'll take it.
Oh,
We'll take those
good to
those white
know.
goods as well. Yep.
And that's free.
Those are free. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So that's
That's great.
we've been taking them for quite some time, and I know anecdotally a lot of the townsfolk are saying that they're seeing a lot less of those kind of items
Mhm.
in the back 40. Down a dirt road where
Oh,
nobody lives and people just are deciding to dump it.
that makes me so angry.
Yeah.
These beautiful, beautiful Wisconsin back roads, and there's no one but you, and there's
Yeah.
trees, and there's, oh my gracious, there's a washing machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So there's opportunity for
good,
people to get rid of that and dispose of it properly.
good.
That's
I
what we're
always
trying to do.
thought if they needed someone to do spy work, I could find out if you could find out who bought that thing and then track them down.
Right.
You left a washing machine out on the.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I have enough to do.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share?
I think we covered the basis on recycling. I really
Good.
appreciate the opportunity to speak with you.
Well, now a whole lot more people know about this, and
Right.
hopefully,
Right.
I mean, it's very simple to do. Just keep it clean, keep it dry,
Right.
put it in the correct place. Northwest Regional Planning Commission.com, NWRPC. If they have any questions, they can stop in the office,
Sure.
which is right next to, across from WK Appliance.
That's right.
South of
Yeah.
Spooner.
Yep.
So you have no excuse. You get all your new Christmas goodies. You know where to take the old ones. You know that it's going to cost you if it's something with a plug. But if it isn't, why not recycle? It just makes sense. So until next week, this is Diane for Diane's Kitchen. Keep it cooking.